Next month, we'll see the 80th anniversary of the D-Day landings, but plans for a mass parachute drop over Normandy to make that commemoration have had to be scaled back. Why? Because we haven't got 4 planes to do it. We've only got 1 available. What on earth is going on in this country? Let's talk to Mark Francois. He's a Conservative MP and former Armed Forces Minister. Good morning to you, Mark.
Good morning, Julia.
Good morning. I mean, this is absolutely extraordinary, this story. We don't even have a spare plane to commemorate one of the greatest moments in the last century of our nation's history, for goodness sake.
Well, Julia, I should begin by declaring an interest. My late father, Stoker First Class Reginald Francois, aged 19, was on a minesweeper at D-Day, so I feel strongly about this. Now, having made that plain, sorry, no pun intended. Yeah, look, the reason we're struggling is because the A400M, the aircraft in question, has a very poor reliability record. The RAF has 22 of them. On any given day, you're lucky if half of them are serviceable. There are problems with the gearbox and with other aspects of the aircraft. The Hercules that they replaced was extremely reliable. You could think of it as as reliable as a Ford Transit. You got in a Hercules, you turned the key, and off it went. So the MOD replaced a highly reliable aircraft with a highly unreliable aircraft.
Brilliant.
And because they're so unreliable, that's why we're struggling to field more than one. And the MOD are trying to deploy chaff about Gaza and other issues. And
yeah, we don't have the planes. We don't have the planes. But yeah, actually, but fundamentally, it was a massive procurement failure.
Yes. No, Julia, sorry to correct you. Oh. We do have the planes, right, but they don't work.
But here's the thing. We're talking about how, we've got these big debates going on between the parties and indeed within political parties about how much we should be spending on our defences, 2%, 2%, 2.5%, 3%, 4% of GDP. And right now we're sitting there, we don't have enough planes in working order. But I think on like 2 of our aircraft carriers also in British waters, one having full refurbishment again because that wasn't working. But we've got stuff, but a lot of it doesn't work. What on earth is going on?
Julia, I serve on the all-party House of Commons Defence Committee. Of the 11 MPs, 6 of us are former MOD ministers, yeah. So we do know a bit about it, right? We published a report called Ready for War, ? A couple of months ago that went through at an unclassified level all of these weaknesses. It's all online. But look, if I come back to the aircraft point, also the Hercules, by the way, it's defence questions in the House of Commons today. So if I'm called by the Speaker, I'm going to raise this because I don't think we've yet sold off those old Hercules.
So we could a little bit of refurbishment, we could get them going. But listen,
now that we're increasing the defence budget to 2.5% of GDP, rather than sell them, we should keep them and put them back into service.
Yeah, indeed.
And that's what I'm going to be asking the Defence Secretary this afternoon.
That sounds like that would make sense. But I mean, here's the thing. These commemorations, a lot of people say, oh, God, remembering the past. I mean, my God, the people who say that seem to be bringing up 1930s Germany, the Nazis, constantly, don't they? These things matter. These events, like D-Day, are the reason why we have so many of the freedoms that we have today. We're able to have these conversations on air, able to talk about things, and we're able to have, protest marches and things like that. We have elections. We're not all speaking German. I mean, seriously, these things matter. And it's very important, especially when we are seeing, as the years go by, more and more of those who've been involved in these heroic acts, obviously, meeting old age and losing their lives, that we continue to commemorate these important events, isn't it? It's really significant, and to the families who lost loved ones. Tell us why this matters.
Well, Julia, let me see if I can put it like this. As I've said, we have defence questions in the House of Commons this afternoon. If it hadn't have been for the RAF in the Battle of Britain and all those people who fought in World War II, including at D-Day, then we wouldn't be having defence questions in the House of Commons because the House of Commons wouldn't exist. It would be a Nazi museum. So it's absolutely critical that we do remember these people that fought for our freedom. It's because of them, You know, I as a politician can come on your show. You as a journalist can ask me questions. You may agree with me, you may not. It's called freedom. It's called democracy. And we only have it because some of these people, some survivors now north of 100, were brave and courageous at their time. So come on, Grant, find us a few more aircraft. Either get some A400s to work or press the Hercules back into service. But one way or another, let's solve the problem, shall we?
Absolutely. And if we can't solve a problem, frankly, as simple as this, that does not bode well in an age where we're now saying we are pre-war rather than post-war. Great to hear from you. Look forward to that question if you get a chance to make it in the House of Commons later on. Mark Francois, Tory MP and former Armed Forces Minister. Sam Armstrong is still with us. It just defies belief that we haven't got enough planes. Yeah, they'll work. We can get off the ground. Frankly, if your plane can't get off the ground, it's not a plane.
Yeah, and yet another case where civil service bureaucrats have mismanaged buying aircraft, have let down our boys at the front.
Yeah.
What is it with this country where the people in charge are the very worst people and the people on the ground are the very best?
Yeah, I know. You don't like a lot of the people running things.
Have I made that clear?
It's a bit of a theme. I'm with you a lot. I mean, this is such basic stuff. I find it extraordinary. And again, the signal that sends out to our hostile nations is that, yeah, we'd be quite easy to beat in a war.